Coming up, the battle over teacher sickouts in Kentucky makes it to federal court. Plus, things heat up in the race for governor as rallies for Democratic candidate Rocky Atkins are scheduled in eastern Kentucky this weekend. And if proposed changes are passed, UK students might feel a stronger pinch on their wallets.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:31 on Wednesday, May the 8th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. It's going to be a warm one, so get ready. Let's bring in Brandon, who will give you a breakdown of what to expect on this hump day. Brandon.
That's right. Like the song says, get ready because here it comes. It's going to be a very, very warm day, a summer preview, but as a cold front comes through later, it's all going to crash down. Not today, but later this week. Cameras this morning, Buffalo Mountain, all quiet. So we move on to Pine Mountain, Whitesburg Mountain there on 119. Not a whole lot of issues there. A lot of nothing going on across the last 6 hours on the satellite radar loop. Temperatures very mild this morning, anywhere from the low 50s to the mid to upper 50s to low 60s, depending on where you are. Several degrees warmer this time from this time yesterday morning. Planner for today, 84 this afternoon, will be 80 by lunchtime. So it's going to be a very mild day with sunny clouds. Rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, the battle over teacher sickouts in Kentucky makes it to federal court. Tuesday, both sides argued over the subpoenas to get the names of teachers who called out to rally in Frankfort. Last week, those names were given to the Bevin administration. Garrett Weimer explains what happened in the courtroom.
For more than an hour and a half inside federal court, U.S. District Judge Danny Reeves grilled attorneys about which court should hear this case and the harm sickouts can cause as he tries to decide whether to issue a restraining order against the Labor Cabinet's subpoena of teacher attendance records. Deputy Attorney General J. Michael Brown says even though the Labor Cabinet already got those records from the Department of Education, it's a matter of these teachers' rights going forward.
There's not a single individual who doesn't cringe a little bit when they hear the word subpoena. That word in this action is being used specifically, I believe, to chill the actions of our teachers.
Brown also argued the case should be heard in state court, not federal court, a second motion for the judge to consider. Judge Reeves did not make a decision today on the two motions. He said he'll issue a written decision, but not likely by the Friday deadline for the subpoenas. The sickouts themselves were often debated in arguing for and against the need for a restraining order. General Counsel Steve Pitt says, yes, teachers have the right to protest, but they don't have the right to break the law to do it.
Anything that is done by a large number of people in a concerted effort to engage in a work stoppage violates the law here, whether it's to go to the Capitol, go to the mall, or go to church, which is also another constitutionally protected right.
Pitt says it may or may not result in any punishment down the line, but right now they're just investigating, so no need, he says, for an injunction. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
An attorney for the Jefferson County Teachers Association who joined the Attorney General's office in the lawsuit also faced aggressive questioning from the judge. Well, Republican challenger Robert Goforth says Kentucky's governor should stop using national political figures, including President Donald Trump, to try and boost his re-election campaign. He is among three Republicans challenging Governor Bevin. Goforth, who is from Laurel County, said yesterday that Governor Bevin should quit trying to hide behind President Trump. Governor Bevin plays up his ties to the president in his campaign's first TV ad. Meanwhile, with the primary election 2 weeks from yesterday, rallies for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Rocky Atkins will be held in eastern Kentucky this weekend. Campaign officials say the rallies will take place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Walmart traffic light in Hazard and the Lowe's in Pikeville. Atkins is one of four candidates stumping for the Democratic nomination. Voters will decide between Atkins, Attorney General Andy Beshear, former Auditor Adam Edlin, and Jeff Young on May 21st. Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes is fighting a new law removing her power over the state board of elections. She filed a suit saying the law illegally violates her executive authority. It currently removes the Secretary of State as chairman and a voting member of the elections board. It also limits access by the Secretary of State's office to a database of registered voters. Now to a reminder about the May primary. In-person absentee ballots are still available in every county. There are some requirements that you have to meet to vote early. On Election Day, you'll have to be out of the county, a student studying away from home, or have an out-of-town doctor's appointment. In-person absentee voting ends May 20th, the day before the election. And if you are going to mail in your ballot, you only have 1 week left to apply. Your ballot must be mailed and received by your county clerk by 6 p.m. on Election Day. Students attending the University of Kentucky this fall could be paying more for classes. President Eli Capilouto announced yesterday that the Board of Trustees is considering an increase in tuition. The proposed budget includes a 2.4% tuition increase for undergraduate students, along with a $3 parking increase. Some students are worrying about their increasing debt.
I have quite a few loans out, and especially with a lot of my friends who come from out of state. A lot of people come from out of state to come to UK. And so I know that they have to kind of worry about that and could possibly deter them from that.
In a letter to students, President Eli Capilouto says the money will go towards a 2% pay increase for faculty and staff who are not part of UK healthcare. A man broke into a Knott County elementary school, stealing more than $15,000. Teachers at Jones Fork Elementary say when they arrived at school Monday morning, they found the more than 20 iPads missing. TVs and other electronic equipment were also stolen. Security cameras were able to catch the man in the act early Sunday morning.
The material that he took from us is it's pretty detrimental to our day-to-day functions. So if anybody does have any information, I'd love it if they could help us out on identifying this person.
The suspect they're looking for is roughly 5 foot 10 inches tall with neck tattoos. If you know him, you're asked to contact the Knott County Sheriff's Department. A new study could give you second thoughts about your drinking water. The study found healthy young adults developed heart damage after 5 years of exposure to low to moderate levels of arsenic. It is typically found in rural areas where people get their water untreated from untreated wells, where it is naturally contaminated while flowing through rocks and minerals. Public water supplies are monitored for arsenic, but private wells are not. Long-term exposure to arsenic has been linked with some cancers, kidney damage, heart conditions, and diabetes. Environmental groups suggest anyone with a private well get their water tested. Staff at the London Laurel County Chamber of Commerce say business is booming and several businesses have just opened up and more are moving along. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds has more on the progress.
That empty space doesn't look too good, especially in this area, so I'm glad they're filling something in there.
Laurel County business continues to grow.
From the small town we're from, London, this is really big for us.
Coles, yeah, it'll be a good addition to London.
An addition that staff with the London Laurel County Chamber of Commerce say they are glad to finally see coming to fruition.
We are super excited about Coles. We have been working on Coles for years.
And with the new business is more growth. And not just in the number of new jobs.
Keeping our folks here in London and Laurel County and pulling other folks in from our surrounding counties. We're excited to have them come and shop in London and Laurel County.
Exciting locals to see what other business Coles could influence and expand their growth. In Laurel County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Staff with the London Laurel County Chamber of Commerce say Kohl's is expected to open in October. Well, the warmer weather has many of us heading outside, and some are taking the opportunity to go for a hike. But officials want you to be prepared before you head out. In the past few days, Powell County search and rescue teams have responded to 3 separate calls for hikers needing help in the Red River Gorge. As we get closer to summer, rescuers expect those calls to go up. Adam Berniston gives us some important safety tips.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I can't express it enough. Your body loses water. When you start sweating, you're already starting to dehydrate.
With our average highs continuing to climb as we get closer to summer, Powell County Search and Rescue is wanting to warn hikers about the importance of taking plenty of water with them on hikes and to also know the signs of dehydration.
Dizziness. A lot of times you're confused, but one thing that I did find out is your breath. Your breath will start feeling dry, your tongue from the saliva dehydrating, and you'll get a bad taste in your mouth, and that's one of your big signs of dehydration.
along with hydration being a top priority while hiking here in the gorge. Lisa Johnson says with temperatures warming up, hikers also need to be aware of snakes and other insects that are starting to be seen more this time of year.
Snakes are really bad. I've already had 2 people tell me they've seen snakes out, and we're talking copperheads. This is copperhead country.
And even if you don't see a snake on your hike, Lisa says ticks and other insects have been especially bad this year as well.
There's ticks out there really bad right now. Mosquitoes, poison ivy, everything's out there right now. So wear long pants, protect yourself, because clothing is essential, especially walking shoes.
In the Red River Gorge, meteorologist Adam Berniston, WYMT Mountain News.
Lisa Johnson says it is also crucial to take a whistle on any hike you go on so people can hear more easily if you get lost or hurt. Well, moving from outdoors to in the theater, Disney announced the release dates for several big movies coming up in the next few years. We'll have more on that in just a minute.
It looks like we hold the rain chances at bay a little longer. Don't worry, they're still coming. I'll have the latest on wind in about 3 minutes.